Oh boy, Wyatt. Man, things are heating up. Not just with what we saw at Watkins Glen this past weekend, but in the Cup side and the playoff picture, things are so heating up.
We got one race left.
One spot left. Oh man, we got the whole batch for you. We've got the whole batch for you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 13th episode of GTN. We're in the teens now, Wyatt. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
We're in the teens.
I cannot. This is getting really good.
This is getting really good. I'm your host, Elijah Leonard, as always. Co-host, that's Wyatt Walker over there. And where do we begin, Wyatt? Do we start? Do we even talk about how dramatic both races were?
Let's start off with I've seen both races, and both races were pretty good. Let's start off with the Xfinity Series. William Byron was one of the favorites. He qualified on the pole, and he had really good speed throughout that race. And who was number two most of that time? Ty Gibbs.
Not gonna lie, Ty Gibbs had a really nice looking car. Kind of reminds you of that DeWalt paint scheme from way back in the early 2000s.
It did. I just was not a huge fan of it. I don't know. Your thing's different. Your voice, your microphone's different. Oh, now there we go. Now it's good. Now.
I don't know what's going on with it. Technical difficulties, but it's okay. Anyways,
Not on my end.
Anyways, they're actual technical difficulties because this man right over here, the only technical difficulty he'll have is with his hotspot or with his actual laptop itself that will just do absolutely poor with the internet sometimes. But
No, that's not hotspot. That's actually the Wi-Fi here. The hotspot's actually making it better.
Well, the Wi-Fi is shit. Anyways, you get what I mean. This is an actual technical difficulty. But as I was saying before my mic so rudely cut me off, literally, Byron was the most dominant guy. Led 35 out of the 82 laps. Ty Gibbs led 10 laps less with 25. But
I'll tell you who didn't even make it far, Justin Allgaier.
Honestly, that was so painful to watch. He wrecked on lap 4, got loose in the S's, which, I mean, I knew the S's was a difficult spot on the track, but I didn't know it was going to be that slick. But yeah, Allgaier lost it. Simply, the car got loose. There's really no other way to describe it. It just simply got loose, and you really have no room for error or try to find a place to get off the track because you've got guardrails on both sides. You're not going anywhere except for into the guardrail.
That was a bad turn. That was like a bad corner for that's just a bad corner in general because even if you lose, like what happened with Allgaier, he got that. And there's been wrecks in the past that's been much worse.
Oh yes.
In that area or before it, my mind goes straight to, I think it was Runeman in the double zero.
Yes. Yeah, 2011, man, that was horrible. But moving forward, let's fast forward into the present, 11 years later. So, the fastest guys out on the track. Let's be real. Both HendrickCar.com cars. Yes, we saw double. They both were nose to tail. It was actually kind of funny to watch. But of course you had Allmendinger up there. Of course you had Gregson up there. Of course Ty Gibbs was up there. Sammy Smith, man. Let's talk about Sammy Smith here for a moment. We doubted this guy. We doubted this guy. In the ARCA race, led every single lap right up until the very last restart. Saturday, we had no idea how well he was going to do. We thought his inexperience was going to get the best of him. We were wrong. We were dead
This,
wrong.
I will say this, and he will back, and I know for a fact he'll back me up. If Ty Gibbs goes up to the Cup Series next year, which starting to more and more likely be a high possibility, I think Sammy Smith needs to take his place.
It has to be a good replacement.
Sammy Smith has been. This is like what his fourth or fifth start,
Right
and
around there.
And this is another great showing of how he is.
Absolutely.
Just, he's in the Daytona race too, which I'm not a whole lot sure how the super speedway thing is, but then again, it's super speedway.
Anybody
Have
can do well in
exactly.
super speedway. If you,
So
but nonetheless though, racing itself top notch, despite the fact that yes, Cup driver won, but I'm okay with Kyle Larson winning, honestly, because he rarely runs Xfinity these days. I
yeah,
mean, he doesn't run a whole lot in any of the lower series, unless if it was like World of Outlaws, which I know that's not NASCAR, but still, he'll do that on the side. But he doesn't do hardly races Xfinity at all. So
how about we talk about how we got that win? So, if I remember correctly, and if there's something I'm missing, correct me. On the front row, it was William Byron in the 17, and lost his name for a minute.
Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Ty Gibbs on the outside, Larson behind him. I think I almost said Truex. I think Allmendinger was in row 2 as well.
Yeah, he probably was. I can't quite remember, to be honest with you.
I don't remember he was in row 2 or row 3, but he was there. Sammy Smith was around that area too. And we go into turn 1. It's already crazy how it is. Go through the S's. When we get to the bus stop, they are side by side. Ty Gibbs messes up.
Yeah, they went into that bus. They just sent it into the bus stop, especially Gibbs. He lost it. That takes Byron with him. Larson takes the lead. And then, shortly after these two tangle, Byron gets into Ty Gibbs in turn 6. Byron was doing God's work right there.
And at the very end of that, I saw like in the screen, like in Larson's interview, in the back of the screen, you could see those two talking.
Oh yeah.
It's like I was looking at that more than I was Larson's interview.
To be quite honest,
at the very end where he won,
I was really thinking Ty Gibbs was going to jump out of the car and go right after Byron. I was on my toes for a fight.
I honestly was too, but and that was good. And think about that, it was going to be the lead up till tomorrow.
Yes, it would have been.
At that point tomorrow,
it would have been. It would have. That would have been fun to watch.
But we get down to that, and Larson was able to hold off AJ Allmendinger. Larson wins. I think it's the first time that 88 won this year.
Yeah, I think so.
And that actually leaves every single junior motorsports car has won except Sam Ayer, who's been close.
Several different occasions.
Even a part-time. But Sam Ayer is one of the fastest junior motorsports.
Yes.
He's been up there a lot. You can't count him out. He's going to get a win here soon.
He will. 1,000,000%.
But let's go through the finishing results here. Again, as we said, Kyle Larson got the win. AJ Allmendinger finished second. That's going to be funny in the future once we get to there. Sammy Smith, as we mentioned, was the guy we didn't think, and now he's now becoming more and more of an underdog.
Yes.
Sammy Smith, I could see. I've never cared about some drivers skipping trucks and going up there, but there's some that actually works. And Sammy Smith is one of them. And I hate this. He may not like this, but Ty Gibbs is another one too that was actually a success as well. But then again, there's differences between two of them.
Yeah, because Ty Gibbs got handed everything. Sammy Smith worked hard.
Yeah, Noah Gregson, the new GMS guy, is not finished fourth place. Kaz Grala for Big Machine, got a good top 5.
I'm really
As we
impressed with
mentioned,
that.
yeah, as we mentioned, Sam Mayer, 6th place. Riley Herbst's a good top 10, not bad for him. Sheldon Creed, a much needed top 10. Josh Berry came at the very end. Not really a road course guy, but came up, good night. And Jeremy Clements, he was the guy that Allgaier was racing with when he spun.
Yeah.
That's the guy he was racing with, and he got a top 10.
How about
He
that,
was a
though?
lap down at one point.
Yeah. And then here he is. Just shows up instead of the top 10.
That was a pretty good performance by him.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Custer, get 11th. Stephen Parson. Didn't he? No, it's Balicki that had it. Never mind. Parsons with a good top 15 finish. Actually, top 12 finish. Not bad for him for that team. Ryan C. comes on 13th. Timmy Hill, 14th. Connor Mosack, top 15. Good run for him. Landon Castle, 16th. 17th, Josh Balicki in the most funniest paint scheme I've ever.
Yes.
Funny and ironic paint scheme.
The funniest one-off race for a sponsor I've ever seen.
Anthony Alfredo, Andy Lally. He's had the issues in that race. I think we were expecting better out of Andy Lally.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. I was thinking he would probably be up there with Cole Custer, who was his teammate at this point. But still, like, that kind of sucks. But then again, for the 0-8, expected. It's kind of an expected performance.
We got Brad Perez, 20th. Preston Pardis, 21st. Kyle Weatherman, 22nd. He was actually up in the top 10 at one point.
Yeah. I think I remember seeing him inside of the top 10.
I don't even know how to pronounce his last name.
Scott Heckert.
Heckert? Okay. Scott Heckert.
This is one of the drivers that you struggle with.
This ain't a driver I struggle with. He just struggles in general. Brandon Jones.
That's a fact.
24th.
That's a fact that he struggled that whole race. That's one of those races where you could just add it on the list of days that you just want to forget.
I bet these two want to forget it too. William Byron, 25th. We got Bailey Curry, and then Ty Gibbs, 27th. Ross Chastain was in the sand pit.
Yes.
He didn't show up like we thought he would.
He didn't necessarily show up until to the end, and then just fell right back when he went right into the sand pit.
Blaine Perkins, where I believe he needs to be, placing Brett Moffitt. Austin Hill. This guy I'm disappointed in.
Yeah.
I realized that he was going to have a really good day. I forgot what happened to him.
Oh wait, no, it was a broken track bar.
Yeah.
It was broken axle, broken track bar. Something was broken on that car.
Which that disappointed me because I really had high hopes for Austin Hill here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would have been a contender.
What would have been a really good contender for the win, but to his benefit though, he is locked in. He's safe.
Yeah.
This finish will not affect him whatsoever.
Yeah. And then you got Daniel Hemrick, who went into the. He got I guess he hit the curb wrong or got loose out of the bus stop and then just went straight.
He went
into
that honestly. Just the way that he went into the wall, the tire barrier, just completely caved it in. Well, dug it up, went underneath it, which that was crazy. But still, really glad that he got out and he's okay. But still, that was bad.
Brandon Jones, another bad finish. He had an axle issue. Mike Snyder. I actually do not remember what happened to Mike Snyder.
He,
I know,
let's see, if I remember
I know. Chris
correctly,
Bryant had that drive shaft issue.
I think what happened to Myatt Snyder was I think he had an accident on the front stretch coming on turn 7, if I remember correctly. I don't remember, but he had an accident. That is a fact. It is listed right here in the finishing order. But I think what happened in his little deal was I think he had an incident in turn 7, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I'm sure somebody will correct me, but yeah. Anyways,
Alex LeBay crashed at the bus stop. Patrick Gallagher, same place. Jeff Burton, just more and more going downhill.
more. Oh, he tangled. Oh no. Now that I remember, Jeb Burton and Myatt Snyder tangled in the bus stop. That's
right.
I think that's where that came from. Yeah. Okay. But then I think there might have been a second accident. But anyways.
And then at the very end got Justin Allgaier.
Yeah.
If you go ahead.
That was severe pain.
Now, if you go to the point standings,
which now should be up on your screen. Look at there.
See, that's the one thing I forgot to mess with, but it'll be fine. So we got the list right. Got the Xfinity list right there. This is all custom that I made, all highlighting different colors and stuff. I will show you some of them here shortly. There's some are different than others. Reasons why. But if you look here, this is my little playoff grid. Ty Gibbs, of course, is the highest with 5 wins. AJ Allmendinger is still the regular season points leader by let me look over here. By 61. He's still 61 points ahead of Ty Gibbs with being the regular season champion with only a few races left to go.
Yeah.
So you got Allgaier, Gregson, Barry, Hill, Brandon Jones, and then Riley Herbst is 129 ahead. Actually goes ahead of Sam Mayer, who's 125. Daniel Hamrick, 67. Landon Castle, 50. Ryan Sieg, 39, ironically to his number. This is where it gets interesting. Sheldon Creed's starting to come up, but Ryan Sieg's starting to go down.
Yeah.
Sheldon Creed gets a good few more races. I think Creed might be ahead of Sieg close to the end of this.
There's a really good chance of that. I mean, let's be real. I am starting to notice that Sheldon Creed he's really starting to come into his own. Like now I think he's starting to slowly shift some momentum into his favor, and now he's starting to get up there. He's actually starting to compete a little bit more. Not to say that he hasn't been doing that throughout all this year, but I think we're starting to see him come into his own, become that Sheldon Creed that we knew going into like the 2020 season in trucks. Because let's be real, 2019 in trucks, not the best year. It took him a while to start taking off. 2020, Truck Series champion, won 3, 4, 5 races. What felt like, and then, of course, this year could be a little bit similar, but then at the same time maybe not. But he's getting up there. Sieg is in trouble. I really hate to say that because Sieg is probably one of the underdogs coming into this thing because, of course, it's his own team, first of all, but at the same time, it's just he's somebody that you rarely see up at the front, I mean, on a near daily basis. Yeah, you'll see him up there probably around top 10 every so often, but he's kind of there. I really don't know. I really don't know where else to go with that, but I think Ryan Sieg
And here's something I want to mention,
is kind of in the danger zone.
I'll bank off with you. And here's something I want to mention. Every year is different for Ryan Sieg.
Yeah.
One year he's good, next year is bad. This is a good season, but it's starting to turn into a bad.
It's kind of going the other way and not in a good way.
So,
but yeah, Creed for sure has a chance. Like he's still got time. Anthony Alfredo is a long shot.
Yeah,
but Clement
he might still be able to make it on points, but
Jeremy Clements and Brandon Brown, Daytona is their only chance. Anytime after that,
yeah,
it's a no-go.
Yeah, and the next two races are Darlington, and actually next 3 races. So 22, yeah. Next few races is Darlington. They're not racing. No, they're not racing Kansas. It's Darlington and Bristol.
Yeah, so I think Bristol. What is that? Bristol's their regular season finale. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's the regular season because in the Truck Series, Kansas is their final for the round of 8.
Yeah,
or round of 10. I'm sorry.
Round of 10. We still got another month to go till we get to that point. Anyways.
But yeah, also if you want to look at the color deals, just for reference, just for the Xfinity Series, I have a color code to where green's rookie, red is below the cutoff, yellow is above the cutoff, playoff drivers, blue is locked in by points, orange is regular season champion, pink when the field started, it was part-time drivers and playoff grade above or below. This one was new. Brown, I add for regular season champion. Or not regular season, I'm sorry, last season champion. The playoff, I did a little interesting. It's every color. If you look at the if you look at the highlight color, it's all the top row, and it goes from like plain none, and then it goes to light gray, 3, 2, all the way up to black is like amount of wins. And if it goes higher than that, then it will just stay black and just add the X as you see on the wins times 2.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah.
And purple is Xfinity Series, which obviously.
Yes.
So now let's move over and switch gears to the Cup Series, where I'm going to let you take over some of this.
Literally, because okay. So here's where I kind of was a little bit upset at the start. And partially I understand this. They were going to start the field single file, but at that point, this was before they officially got going. It was pouring rain. Like it was raining. Like legit raining. Still raining when the cars were rolling out onto the track and just getting their pace laps in. And NASCAR's like, "All right, there are some puddles that are being built up over like in the S's area, not the S's area, the bus stop area, a little bit in the S area. I think it was like down towards the bottom." So brought the cars in, and they let the jet dryers have at it. The sun started slowly coming out, which I was kind of like, dang it! I really wanted to see them race in the rain. I really wanted to see it, but the track was still wet. So they started off with a wet track, right? So, that was all right. But then the rest of the way, they went back to their slicks, and that's how it was the rest of the way, which I was kind of bummed about it because I wanted to see them start in the rain, the pouring rain. That would have been fun to watch, but I understand what NASCAR was trying to do. Anyways, the race itself, I gotta say, really good. I'd say top notch. Best Watkins Glen race I've seen since 2012. 2012, ironically enough.
And that one has been shown up so many times to where the finish was one of the most memorable.
Yes.
Until the S's, it was between Busch and then Keselowski, and then the infamous wreck between them, and then Marcus Ambrose coming up.
Yeah, Ambrose was just waiting in the wings at that point. But let's fast forward 10 years later. Just to reiterate, in case some of you were under a rock, there were 7 different nations that were representing this race. Of course, we had the United States, we had Germany, we had Mexico, we had Finland, we had Germany.
You already said Germany.
Did I?
Said Germany twice.
I don't care. Germany. So yeah, Germany, Finland, Mexico, Russia,
England,
and the Netherlands. All were represented in that race. Yes, I said Germany twice because
only one Germany.
German times 2. Anyways, that's for a 2x combo for Germany. But let's talk about this. I kind of was expecting them to, if the race was going to play out in the rain, like at the very start, they would have probably started like strategizing their way to the front, especially Kimi Räikkönen. But we didn't really get to fully see that. He did. I think he worked his way up inside of the top 10 at one point.
Yeah, he
but
did.
And then eventually, of course, yeah, some other dilly-dallies happen. Unfortunately, Kimi got taken out halfway through the race,
which kind of sucked because he was doing so well.
He was doing
and
really well.
And as soon as I saw it, you could have asked my dad and Gekken. I was like, Kimi, no!
No, I really hated that. I hated that, but he was out. But aside from that, the racing itself, as I mentioned, top notch. Best road course racing at Watkins Glen I've seen in a while. But to fast forward, to keep on fast forwarding here, I was thinking, let's see, who were we thinking was going to be up there? Of course, having a shot. Larson, when we got to the end, was up there. Allmendinger, of course. Michael McDowell.
Michael McDowell
was up there.
McDowell actually won a stage, I think.
I think he did. But y'all said Chase Elliott was up there. And with this car, listen, with this car,
the regular season,
he did. Which I think that was after the completion of stage 1. But let's be honest here, we had no idea what this car was going to do at Watkins Glen, and we didn't even have any idea how they would race on the rain tire. Well, we saw that, but unfortunately not the way that I would have loved to see it, in the pouring rain. But when we got to the dry, they actually raced pretty good. Last restart. All right, let's get down to this one here so that way we can get to the finishing results faster. Larson, Elliott, front row. You go into turn 1. Larson overshoots the corner, gets into chase, and then he runs away with the lead, and Allmendinger took second away, and that's all she wrote.
And I want to point out something. Who did we say was the top 2 in the Xfinity Series?
Oh, gosh.
Kyle Larson and AJ Allmendinger.
Ironically enough.
Who's the top 2 in the Cup Series?
Kyle Larson, AJ Allmendinger. That was funny to watch. That was funny.
The bike's messing up again. There we go.
Anyways, we're back. My mic's being
Anyways, the finish was really good. Larson knows what the move he made was dirty. He's not proud of it, but he had to make the move to win the race. And
yeah.
I think Chase Elliott would have done the same thing in his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, But yeah, the finish results. Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson won the race, and Allmendinger got second. First two again. Joey Logano, third place. He had a legit shot to win this race. Chase Elliott, the one who should have won the race, got fourth. Daniel Suarez for Trackhouse, the only Trackhouse guy to actually make the top 10 and top 5. You done playing with your mic over there? While he's doing that, Michael McDowell, the guy we were talking about, who I believe could have been the spoiler if he would have won the race. Michael McDowell would have been a crazy good spoiler at Watkins Glen. Came home 6th, not bad. Tyler Reddick came home 7th. Christopher Bell came home 8th. Chris Buescher 9th. He's starting to become more and more of a dark horse driver, and just in general, along with Eric Jones, who finished 10th.
Yes.
Then this is something you don't hear often. Cole Custer gets 11th.
Very impressive.
He had a good strategy. He almost came home with a top 10. Came home 11th. Pretty good day for Cole Custer. Kevin Harvick, 12th. Austin Cindric, 13th. Good run for him. Alex Bowman, 14th. Stenhouse, 15th. Ty Dillon, 16th. Beating out his brother again. Justin Haley, who qualified good, and I don't know what happened to him. Just came home 18th. Just not a good day. Brad Keselowski qualified good too. He came home 19th. Denny Hamlin was barely was barely shown. It's a top 20. Ross Chastain 21st. He's starting to have more and more bad runs.
Yeah.
William Byron, the guy who was dominant Xfinity Series, came home 22nd in the Cup Series. Still beat out Ty Gibbs. I think it's funny, but
yeah.
Martin Truex Jr. a no-show that's good at the track. Ryan Blaney also a no-show, finished 24th.
That's surprising.
Chase Briscoe, actually, he won the stage.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe won the first stage.
Yes.
He finished 25th. Ty Gibbs 26th. Corey LaJoie 27th. Harrison Burton 28th. Eric Almirola, who didn't really do much, unfortunately, despite being. We'll talk about this later, but he's back in the 10 next year.
Was it made official?
It's basically made official.
Are you sure? Because there's a because there was an article that came out saying that he hadn't officially made his decision yet. Like it's not final,
but it's still in the process to where it's going to be final. So
we'll see.
Eric Almirola is most likely going back to that 10.
We'll see.
Mike Rockefeller gets top 30. Joey Hand 31st. Kyle Busch 32nd.
Yeah, it's because of that one spin on the exit of turn 1. That one spin.
I'm going to butcher the name. Loris Heseman.
Got it correct.
All right. Cody Ware. Bubba Wallace, who pitted at the very end due to suspension issues. Daniel
Kvyat.
Kvyat. Damn it. I just realized something. Look at Heseman and look at what's his names.
Daniel.
They're supposed to be teammates. They're supposed to be teammates.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yeah, but look at the manufacturer.
Yeah. I mean, Rick Ware Racing did it once upon a time, so.
Kimi Räikkönen, a guy we thought was going to do good, got thirsted. How about Todd Gilliland? Let's talk about Todd Gilliland for a minute. The rookie. The rookie was leading the race and actually doing really good keeping the lead.
Yeah. He did well at the very beginning, and then all of a sudden he just fell off. Rear end issues.
Yeah, rear end toe link, I believe, messed up. Not toe. rear end axle, I think, broke, and he ended up being done for the day, despite actually doing really well getting that car up to the front.
Yeah,
I was really impressed with him.
that was
It's
super
showing that
impressive.
it's actually showing that he's been kind of getting it more in the road, better, good, doing good road course guys. He's definitely getting help from his teammate, who is a really good road course guy, and
It's great tips as well. Like,
and the rookie's taking it. Todd Gilliland's probably going to be in this 38 for a little bit. I see. I don't think he's
yeah,
going anywhere. I
yeah,
think Todd Gilliland's staying in the 38.
yeah. I'd
And then we
be
got Kyle Tilley,
Kyle
very end.
with steering issues, which sucked. But
Yeah,
as far as Todd Gilliland, really wouldn't be surprised if he got a contract extension. I really hope he does. Like, that would be really beneficial for him.
definitely. And there's stuff I have not done yet that I need to get
You,
taken care of.
you need to check it out. Points are
But
on your screen, by the way.
points are on the screen, but there's stuff I need to do that I forgot to do. Let me see. If you see what I'm doing, you can help me with it. Uh,
Where are you?
Cup Series.
Oh, well, I don't see what you're doing. Oh, I see you. Right? No. Yeah, I don't see what you're doing.
Well, you're not looking at the right spot too.
Well, I don't see where you are.
Look look down and around, and you'll see.
Oh, I see you. Yes. Well, now I'm looking in the right spot. And now I have videographic evidence to back me up.
If you haven't figured out what I'm doing yet, I'm locking in the on the driver's side. I'm putting in the blue, which is which is the lock in,
Yeah,
which is in the lock in the next round. I actually need to put the color. What's the color? Uh,
it's blue, right? Here.
want to do this. And put Elliott as purple because he is the regular season champion. Why is that white?
Oh, because it was hard to see.
That's gonna throw me off.
I
That
can't.
is,
With dark blue and also brown, and you have black coloring for the words. I can't see.
I mean, I get that. It's gonna throw me off though. It's gonna throw me off bad.
I don't see how it would throw you off, to be honest.
Because I'm used to being the black colors, not the white colors.
I don't know how you could see that.
No,
I really don't.
I'm just pretty
I
good at
don't get it.
it.
Anyways.
So now that I'm getting the last touches in, we got these guys are highlighted. I just highlight down here in the win. Also in the point standings, 9 through 15 are locked in. Are just locked in general. They were originally just locked in by wins, but now they're officially locked in because there's 15. There's 15 playoff. There's 15 winners, and we have 15 different winners, and now we have one race left. So we have one spot left to be locked in. So Kurt Busch is officially locked in, despite not racing the last 2 weeks.
Thank the Lord above.
Elliott has a purple in his name because he is locked in as the regular season champion.
Yes.
So now, as we go through the points here, barely much points to talk about because Ryan Blaney's only up by 25.
Yeah.
Truex is only down by 25. Truex needs to have a really good race, and Blaney needs to have a really bad race at Daytona for those two for it to be any effect on that.
And if they both have a bad race, think of who that pulls in. That pulls in Eric Jones. That pulls in Almirola. That pulls in Austin Dillon.
Not by points.
Well, no. Listen. Because Daytona obviously is their last chance. That's why I'm saying they get pulled into this.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously not by points, as you could see. It is simply because it's Daytona.
And you look at all these if you go down the drivers, you look at all these guys up in orange who is not one. Orange and some green. Green is still rookies, orange is just a driver color. I just choose orange because why not? All the other ones, especially Truck Series on the bottom, has their colors for their team.
Yeah.
Not team, their season. But
yes.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting coming to Daytona. There's some guys I look at as guys who could do it, but there's also guys like I have no faith in.
Yeah.
That's in the top 30, and we'll get to that once we talk about Daytona. But this is going to be interesting. Final race. Is there going to be a 16th different winner at Daytona, or will it be a Ryan Blaney versus Truex? That's the question right now.
It's kind of a blend of both at this point, but one way to find out. All right. So, now that that's out of the way, the one and only breaking story that I've seen, unless if there's more, is Kurt Busch wasn't at Watkins Glen, and he's not going to be at Daytona. He's expecting to come back when the chase starts, and I get it, because I think with the fact that he's still not 100%, it is concerning, but at the same time, for him to not be in the car at this particular stage, it makes the most sense, because you want him to come back 100%. And of course, Kurt's going to go into this awareness knowing that he might not make it out of the first round, as I've mentioned probably about a zillion times already, but he will go down swinging. At any possible rate, he will swing for the fences. And if he gets eliminated, well, at this point, he won't have anything to lose. He can go out and he can just mix up everybody else's days.
And that's also going to be a really interesting question coming next week when we got the 16 playoff drivers. What is our playoff prediction grid going to be? That is the question for next week. Yes,
absolutely. The only other thing I see is the Nemecheks are going to be racing together at Daytona. Father and son. Father and son will be racing at Daytona this weekend.
They're both going to be.
They're both teammates. They're both teammates.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think John Hunter's in the 26 and Joe's in the 24.
Yes, sir.
Or is it backwards?
It is actually. Thank goodness it's the third to last tweet from the bottom. But yeah, that'll be cool to see. But other than that,
you'll get to my own notes here shortly. You'll see it, but I think that might be all the news. Maybe
I think so. So, without further ado, let's preview. We're not reviewing Daytona yet, but we're previewing Daytona. As we have mentioned before, for the Xfinity Series, It's just another step towards their playoffs. For the Cup race, for the Cup Series,
Final
one
race.
one last opportunity, one last chance for any from Blaney and Truex, Jones, Almirola, everybody else on down inside of the top 30, maybe anybody else outside of the top 30 to get a win. Maybe won't get them in, but if you're inside of the top 30, last chance. Last chance.
And I want to bring this up. Is like, I want to go. That's what I need to bring the actual point things on NASCAR.com up on this one to help me out with this. But if you look from Arntrix down, there's some drivers that are obviously obvious eyes, but there's some that are like obvious do not look.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, there's 4 that are obvious do not look, which is Harrison Burton, Ty Dillon, Todd Gillen, and Cole Custer.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about putting Austin Dillon in that list too, but I don't know yet.
Yeah.
And unless he can scrounge out, no, Corey LaJoie cannot scrounge out that many points to get by Todd Gillen. So yeah, Corey LaJoie, Cody Ware out.
Yeah.
Actually need to take his name out of the whole thing in general. So.
But yeah, all right, Wyatt. We're at Daytona. As we mentioned, one last time for the one last go round in the regular season for the Cup guys. Last chance for any of the top 30 to get into the chase. Anybody from Blaney on down, that is. And for Xfinity, it's just another step towards the chase. What do we expect?
Craziness and big ones. We all know at Daytona we always expect the big ones. And especially for the Cup Series side, it will be a game changer on who will make it and who will break it.
Yeah.
And if you're involved in a big one, and if you're one of the guys who have not won yet, you are most likely done, and you're not getting in. You're not getting in the final spot.
Yeah.
If you have a win and you're fine, then if you have a win, then you're just fine. Yeah, you're still in.
Yeah.
But if you're a driver like mainly Blaney and Truex, if you two get involved in a big one, and there's not really a lot of repeat winners, then you guys are probably screwed.
Yeah.
And I think super speedways, and the first guy I think in my head is Justin Haley.
Yes.
College racing, super speedways, Cup Series has not been as good, but you still look back. Haley's in the Xfinity Series too, and he's going to get more help. And there's going to be a 4-car team, 4-team in college racing in the Xfinity Series.
4.
They're a threat. They are 100% a threat, and that is a team that's going to be that's definitely a team that's going to be trying to work together. Especially, and Noah Gregson's in the Cup Series too. Not in the 16, but the 62. I think he may help. I think he may also help his colleague teammates.
Yes.
In the 16 of Hemrick and Justin Haley in the 32, but
31.
31 Justin Haley and Hemrick. What'd I say?
You said 32.
Oh, my bad. It is going to be really interesting. Like I said, I eyeball Justin Haley as a guy in both series. I eyeball Bubba Wallace second in the Daytona 500. Definitely a threat.
Mm-hmm.
I eyeball Eric Almirola, pretty good at super speedways. Eric Jones won the 2018 Daytona. Buscher and Keselowski won the duels. Michael McDowell won the Daytona 500 last year. Stenhouse won both Dega and Daytona in 17.
Yeah.
these are guys you just gotta keep your eye on. There's not just one. Brian Blaney, he won Daytona last year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he almost won the 500. He was close.
These are guys that you really should be keeping your eyes on, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't know exactly what to really expect. Of course, I mean, obviously, we're going to see a bunch of chaos. That's a given, and that's a fact. Big one? We barely saw a big one in the 500 this year with this car.
We saw a few.
But it wasn't, not like, when I say big one, I'm thinking like dozen or more at Daytona. But
well, at that point, they were trying to make sure they didn't wreck the cars.
Yeah, but that's
kind of really.
They're really good cars. They're really nice looking cars. But then again, trying to avoid a big one happening is really hard to do at a place like Daytona or Talladega. So
at Talladega, we had the big one.
Yes, like that proves my point. It's really hard to try to prevent it from happening. Uh-oh. There we go. He froze for a moment.
Why is it paying? What happened to my hotspot?
His hotspot turned cold.
Very funny.
You now got a cold spot. Uh-oh. He's frozen again. Yep, there he is.
There we go. I don't know what.
It's like it's going in and out.
Go check it. I mean, it's working now, so can't really check it much, but
yeah. But no, like as well, there he goes. Turns off the light. Here he comes back.
Very funny. Anyways.
But no, as I was saying, like that proves my point. Like, it's really hard to prevent a big one from happening at places like Daytona, Talladega, or Atlanta, if you want to count Atlanta, which I don't, because it's not a super speedway. It will never be a super speedway, no matter how hard NASCAR, Fox, or NBC try to push for it to be a super speedway. It's not, and it never will be. So if any of you people that think that Atlanta is a super speedway, you can politely, absolutely politely, keep your opinion to yourself and actually go tell it to people that actually will agree with you. So I would say worse, but then again, this is a kind of like a PG/PG-13 podcast, and I think what I did with my microphone proves it. So
somewhat.
Anyways. But let's go ahead and shift gears into predictions. Here we go. This is where the real spice is added into this taco. So here we go. Driver to win. Obvious. Driver to stay away from is the guy that is the driver. Well, driver to stay away from is basically the guy that it just I forgot my description of driver to stay away from. It's just basically the driver in which we're coming up to a track where, they don't like, or a track in which they just suck at. Dark Horse is the exact opposite. I completely forgot my description on the driver to stay away from. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to myself. But you get what I'm trying to say, though. Driver to stay away from is just the guy that just isn't doing the greatest as of recent weeks, or just altogether. But it's Daytona, and anybody can actually mix things up. Anybody can win, which would add a lot more hot sauce. Hot sauce to this quesadilla. But here we go. Wyatt, you are up first.
And this does not help at all at the fact that there are 43 cars and there's a whole bunch of guys who can easily make their way in. And I already can tell one person who's not making their way in is Natalie Decker in the 5. Which is why I said, oh no.
Oh. Yeah, I see.
But I'm going to do something interesting. My dark horse cannot go wrong with this team in this series. AJ Allmendinger is my dark horse. Colleague Racing, you know the drill. Colleague Racing.
Yeah.
Driver to stay away from. What the hell? I did not even know he was in this race. And I don't trust him enough to even know he's going to do good at it. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
I was looking right at his name as soon as you said that.
Rick
I knew about it
Stenhouse
for
Jr.
I knew about it for a
from.
few minutes.
He's my driver to stay away from. My driver to win. He's coming back in the Xfinity Series. He's going to own. He is going to be the reason why I call him the Super Speedway guy. Every time in the Xfinity Series, Justin Haley in the 4th Colleague Racing entry. He is my driver to win.
It's a good choice.
Now for the Cup. Also, for some reason, if he don't make it in, it's like if it's a rain delay and they can't have that, it's an open car, so if he don't get it in for some stupid reason, Austin Hill. But we'll get to that bridge when we get there. Now, Daytona, the Cup Series. This is where it gets interesting. I'm going to skip ahead to stay away because I mentioned one of their names and I am true to my word on how I think the Super Speedway is going to go for them. Cole Custer.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't see, even in the even Xfinity, I've never seen Cole Custer be a huge factor in super speedways. So I'm not positive with Cole Custer. I'm just going to go ahead and get that off the bat, make it easier. I don't have faith in Cole Custer.
Yeah.
But my dark horse, on the other hand, Brad Keselowski.
Good choice.
Brad Keselowski is my dark horse. Obviously, he's one of the best of super speedways. He only has one Daytona win, but he has so many. He has like 6 Talladega wins.
Yes.
So he is no surprise. He won. I forget which duel it was. I think it was duel number. Was it 1 or 2? I don't remember.
Who? Busher?
Either one. Busher won the second one. That's right.
Kez won the first.
Keselowski, Keselowski won the first duel race. RFK swept the duels.
Which that was really, yes.
And that Brad Keselowski is definitely my driver. That's a dark horse.
Uh-oh.
And I have to think about myself. And I have to ask myself, and you might ask yourself too, do I pick a driver who I think is going to be the 16th different winner to beat out both Blaney and Truex? Do I think it's one of those two, or do I think it's a repeat winner and the final place will be decided with Blaney and Truex on points?
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but I think it may come down to a 16th winner.
Yeah.
Which 16th winner? I have no damn clue. I would love it to be him, but I do not think it's going to be him. You know what? For shits and giggles, because I honestly don't know. It's a wild card race. Anything could happen. Back to back, Justin Haley. It's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen, but I can't really pick anyone. I can't decide. It's for giggles. I'm going to go Justin Haley just for fun. This is probably going to be the only one I do for fun.
Very interesting there. That's actually not that bad of a choice.
It's not bad. I know it's not going to happen, but it's a fun pick.
Absolutely. All right, folks. It's my turn. So, of course you're going to say that. So here we go with my driver to win. You know what? It's colleague all day, baby. Justin Haley, driver to win. Driver to stay away from. Oh my gosh. Who do I choose? Maybe Sheldon Creed as the driver to stay away from.
Ooh.
I hate to do that to him, but
but I agree.
But still, it's like I don't recall him doing the greatest at the season opener or Daytona this year. Dark horse, AJ Allmendinger, actually is gonna be my dark horse for this one. Cup. Now, I'm gonna go with some shock factor here. You ready to hear this?
Okay.
Driver to win, Bubba Wallace.
He was a name I was thinking about doing him too.
I had thought about this for weeks. Bubba Wallace. Let's face it. And I think I think it's time some other people face the music here. Bubba Wallace has shown this year he can win. Like he can legitimately get up there and start winning. This car has really aided him in a big way. I think it's even aided 2311 in a big way. Because yes, Bubba has his slip ups. Every driver does. Even your favorite driver does. So RJ, the guy who loves Chase Elliott, even your favorite driver slips up too. Admit it. Anyways, but yeah, Bubba Wallace, shown he's got speed. He finished runner-up in the Daytona 500. Very well coulda, woulda, shoulda won it, but of course Austin Cindric won, so still happy about that. Coulda, woulda, shoulda won Michigan, which he had the car to do it.
He did.
He led the opening part of that race. We were there live. We saw it.
Yeah.
We saw the kind of gap he was putting on Logano at first, but then eventually it turned into Kyle Busch. But we saw the gap he had.
And then Toyota had that one. I was thinking about him too.
Yeah.
So that's not a shock factor for me. That was another guy. I was almost thinking about picking him to win.
Yeah.
But I do like that pick. I do agree with that.
Here's my driver to stay away from. And I kind of hate to do this to him. He's locked in here regardless. Ross Chastain. His aggression. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's good, but just at this stage of the season, though. At this stage of the season, he has been involved in. Here's a stat for you. Watkins Glen marked the 7th race in a row where he has had an altercation with another driver on track. 7 races in a row.
Yeah,
Daytona, it's really high up there. It's gonna be 8. Really high up there.
Despite if he's involved in it or not, I do agree with that. My thing is, he did win Talladega just by being safe and then let the guys up front duke it out. That's another thing.
That is another thing, but at this stage of the season, though, this is where Ross, regardless of whether if he's locked in or not, I feel like Ross is starting to crack. Like, don't get me wrong, he's got fast cars. He can run up there, top 5, top 10. He can even lead. Like, he led the opening part of Richmond this past week. But the week before Watkins Glen, to clarify. But still, his aggression just will 100% get the best of him at this particular stage of the season, where everything to other drivers that are not in via win, or drivers that are trying to get in, which it's a very small window, we all know it, it's gonna affect them in a big way. If Ross puts the pedal to the metal a little too hard, if you know what I mean. Not saying that Ross won't potentially win, because it's there. He probably could win. Will he run well? Yes, but I'm saying he's the driver to stay away from because of just all the shenanigans that he's been getting himself into.
I see that.
Dark horse?
I know a funny one, but I'll screw him over again.
No.
If you guys want clarification what I'm talking about, we'll go back to that Ross Chastain win at Talladega, but a few laps before.
Here's my dark horse. I think this one you will 100% agree with me on. Justin Haley's my dark horse for this one. Let's face it. Again, the stats at super speedways on the Xfinity side show it. This guy,
some in the Cup,
but this guy pulls off something that hadn't been done since Dale Jr. back in the late 90s. Something that hadn't been done in almost 20 years, or over 20 years at this point.
And you can't say it's luck either.
No.
The first time he won Daytona 2020, Talladega, he won his first race in the Xfinity Series in 2020 at Talladega. That I thought that was going to be something. And then he backed it up with Daytona. Then Talladega. Then another Daytona.
Which that would be 4 wins? 4 wins altogether in Xfinity? It would have been 5 in 2018 had he not gone just a few inches, get his left side a few inches below the double yellow line. It should have been 5, but it's their call.
And he is still one. You cannot count him out.
Absolutely.
That's just one guy you cannot count out in these super speedways, especially that team.
Yes.
Don't forget, if you look back at that team, they've won a restrictor plate race every single year. Going back to Ross Chastain in the 16, back in 19.
Yeah.
2019. They're Colleague Racing's first ever win. A 1-2-3 if the Allmendinger didn't get disqualified. A 1-2-3 finish, and that was the first time they added a third car in. And that happened. And then fast forward to 2020 with Justin Haley. Then next year you got Jeff Burton getting his first win. Then Haley backing up with another one. Allmendinger finishing second in much of those times.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Colleague Racing getting like a 3-wide finish, all ahead of each other at Daytona.
That was impressive. I loved that.
You cannot count this team out.
No. Not on super speedways. Never. Never. They have got an incredibly strong super speedway program. It is shown within the last 3 years how strong their super speedway packages really is. No, it is 3. Let's see. Yeah, because 2019 in July with Ross Chastain, then 2020 Talladega through Daytona to Talladega, then Talladega and Daytona with Jeff Burton at Talladega, and then Justin Haley at Daytona.
Here's my thing. I don't think they were as strong this year as they were those years prior.
Yeah.
but you got 4 Colleague cars.
Yes.
4 Colleague cars in the Xfinity Series. 4. That is something that you cannot ignore.
No. 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 You can't. It's going to be impossible to ignore.
And just imagine if Colleague Racing actually becomes a 4-car team.
That would be interesting to watch.
That Colleague Racing would be from, let's see, what is it, like a 7-year prior deal, I think. They start what, 16?
Yeah.
They debuted in 16 with Blake Cook.
And they almost made it to the Final Four with him. Believe it or not. Like, they almost did it.
And you look at that, and you think from 16 all the way right now, they went from being a 1-car team through 16 all the way to 18. Then 19 they had a 2-car team, which that was like split between a couple guys, and then you got another car, add a 3rd car that actually won the race, and then just from there, it's been a 3-car. It's been like a 2-car, then a 3 part-time. Now all 3 full-time.
Yeah.
Imagine if there's a 4-car team. This team would be unstoppable.
They would annihilate everybody. Everybody.
It would be a really interesting fight to see who will do what in the playoffs. We thought this year was crazy. Colleague Racing make a 4th car, and you have to count, even if you don't like them, you have to count it. 6 super speedways. If you count the Atlantas, which we may not really count, but the way they race, 6 super speedways, 4 Colleague cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
That spells trouble, my friend.
It does. It really does. Well, Xfinity is going to be trouble for on the Xfinity side in Colleague. Cup, that's a question mark. But we'll get to that when we get to the weekend. So, Wyatt, any final thoughts before you get this spicy Daytona weekend underway?
Let's just see. Can't wait to see the final regular season of the Cup Series, and let's get this started. Just see the craziness. Who goes where? Who's what? This is probably going to be one of the craziest season playoffs yet. And we still have a bunch of silly season stuff left to do for the rest of the year. So
we do. By the way, before we go, just want to let everybody know we'll be doing a live reactions to the regular season finale on the Cup side at Daytona. So that will begin at 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're interested in checking that out, joining us for the reactions, I really hope we get a good turnout. I mean,
and that's on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
It's on Saturday.
So I need to figure out a good place to watch this and figure out, because I need to get a good antenna. Or figure out where the best place to put that antenna.
Yeah.
So I need to figure stuff out before the race, but this will be really interesting.
Should be very interesting. A reminder, that's August 27th, 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time on the Elijah Leonard YouTube channel right here. If you're watching this on YouTube, Spotify, it's the Elijah Leonard YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. Give me a subscribe if you like the fine content that comes out on that channel. And I've got a lot of videos that are scheduled all the way out till towards the end of September. Towards the end of September, that's how far ahead I am. But nonetheless, thank you guys a lot for watching. Thank you guys a lot for listening on whether it be YouTube or Spotify. If you guys like this, be sure to give it a like. And if you haven't, consider subscribing yet. I recommend you do so to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. As I said about 10 seconds ago, if you're listening on Spotify, be sure to hit that follow button on Spotify if you're brand new, so that way you don't miss a single episode that comes out in the near future. And that pretty much does it for us. Wyatt, we've got a lot of action on our hands, and we're gonna be watching this thing. But we'll see you guys on Saturday night. On behalf of Wyatt Walker, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out. Take care, guys. Have a good night. As I said, we'll see you on Saturday night.
See ya.